Hi everyone, Andrew Knight here. Welcome to the Brussel Sprout. This is a new YouTube channel for Rejoiners. We'll be discussing Brexit, UK and EU politics, and the campaign to rejoin the EU. I'm still new to YouTube, so the first of these episodes might be a bit rough, but it'll be a work in progress, which we should be able to improve over time. I've been heavily inspired to make this by people such as Mike Goldsworthy, Phil Morehouse, Maximilian Robespierre, and Femi Olawale. Sorry if I butchered your name, Femi. I'd love if fellow Rejoiners could come to think of this as a collaborative effort and a tool to amplify their own thoughts and messages, grassroots campaigns, or websites and blogs and so on. So feel free to leave a comment below if you'd like to come on future episodes. I'm hoping to do one a week, maybe one or two guests. We also have some ideas for some special features which will come up in future episodes. For the first episode today, I'd like to talk about Brexit Promises versus the reality of Brexit now. Now, I'm old enough to remember when Brexit was sold to the British people as having all the benefits of EU membership with none of the membership fees. 350 million for the NHS, exact same trade benefits with the EU outside the single market, all rights protected, only upsides, no downsides. All seems to have been forgotten about now. So I'd like to welcome our very first guest on the show, Joel Backus, to discuss his thoughts on this.
Brexit Promises. So one of my favourite Brexit promises was, well, usually an array of them, but all the ones relating to fish, I think probably my favourite and funniest, because Brexit was made as such a massive chance for a massive revival of the UK fishing industry, a very small part of the UK economy, at the expense of bigger sections of the UK economy. Brexit deal day comes along, and there are immediate problems. I'm still waiting to see any of those promises about fishing, about how it was going to be great for fishermen, how Brexit itself was going to be great for fishermen. So yeah, I thought that was my favourite one, and it's probably the funniest one. I mean, it's not funny for those who didn't vote for that, didn't vote for the mess, but yeah, that's what I think of the Brexit promises on fishing. Many Brexiters, I think it's like Liz Truss or something like that, whatever her name is, would bleat on about things like the WTO being so great, and then Brexiters thinking it's going to be absolutely brilliant as well. They're not getting that either. I'm still trying to find where that Let's Go WTO crowd are, because they seem to have all disappeared and they're all suddenly in love with the Brexit deal, or hate it. It's quite a weird observation about Brexit. I'm pretty sure everyone else has noticed it, but whenever some anti-EU person says something, Brexiters tend to just bleat along with it. Whatever direction the wind goes, Brexiters will just go that way without actually thinking. So all those promises about how great the WTO were going to be and how no deal would be great, even though they were negotiating, or avoiding no deal, it just makes no sense. So it kind of reminds me of the Brexit. It reminds me of those that Family Guy episode where that guy's on the phone and he's about to say what to invest in, but he gets whacked in the head, and he says invest in waffles, and all the stock traders start shouting waffle, 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 waffles. It's a bit like Brexiters. Whenever they mentioned WTO, it was WTO, WTO. That didn't happen. It was going to be good for fish. It's been terrible for fish. So yeah, Brexiters are a bit funny like that. Another take back control promise that didn't materialise, did it? I don't think anyone can say that the UK has taken back control of anything, unless taking back control means running things absolutely terribly. Brexiters were basically getting hard or wet for taking back control. Now they're bleating on about joining another trade bloc, a comprehensive and progressive agreement. Yeah, so it's quite strange about the whole the promise of taking back control, only to start to try and join another trading bloc where you'll have to follow the rules if you want to be a member of it. It sounds a bit, it sounds quite similar actually, following the rules, and then eventually, if the UK does join it, I bet the exact same people will start to say, oh, we need to leave this CPTP, that thing, and take back control again. The whole take back control promise is a bit crap, really, isn't it? Interesting news that I found that hasn't really been in the news or anything. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but I recently did a TEFL qualification, so I get their emails. If you're a TEFL teacher, teaching English as a foreign language, and you want to go work in the EU, you've now got to the loss of your freedom of movement means you don't have the right to work across the EU anymore, across the EEA anymore, which is a bit of a bummer for people born in the UK and don't have dual nationality or anything like that. So yeah, teachers will need to get the appropriate visas, and these rules change from country to country. Costs involved, so I don't know what's so great about losing your freedom of movement, but yeah. So if you're a TEFL teacher, that's quite annoying. Gone are the days of just leaving, showing up, setting up, and going, and living. Being a UK citizen in Europe is a massive disadvantage, and what are we getting out of it? Absolutely nothing. Stupid.
Thanks, Joel. Yes, fishing. We've all heard a lot about that over the years, haven't we? Now it just seems like they've been pushed up creek without a paddle, so to speak. Next, we'll be hearing from Emily, a French citizen in the UK.
Hi, I'm Emily. You know me on Twitter as Irreductible. I have studied law for the last 5 years in the UK. I come from France, hence my accent. So today I'm talking about Brexit promises that have been broken by the Tory government, why this would have an impact for me and for other students. So far I have identified 13 different promises that have been broken by the government, including the promise of no tariffs, control over the borders, financial helps for farmers and fishermen. Another promise that has been broken by the Tory government was the one on research. As you remember, last year, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, said that he will not touch Erasmus and Erasmus will not disappear. And look, guess what happened? Now it's all gone, and there's a lot of students like me who wanted to come here in the UK to study and who will not have this opportunity anymore because Erasmus was the only chance they had. So this is a big waste for the UK. It's not visible yet, maybe not for everyone, but you will see in the next few years or so, it will be a big miss for the UK, especially that many students were coming from the EU, from Europe, to study in the UK and bring their culture, bring who they are to the UK. Diversity and what makes the UK great, especially England and every single countries of the UK, great is their diversity and the fact that we're all different, and what makes us different will bring it to the general system. And I feel like with losing Erasmus, I've seen it already. Many students have decided not to come to the UK anymore. I've talked to students who actually had the plan to come to England study and change their mind, went to Spain instead, went to Germany, went to Norway, Iceland, because they felt like England was not welcoming anymore and not safe anymore for them. And of course, it's a big waste because those people could have been great addition to the UK system, to the UK university system, and it could have been their opportunity, their absolutely amazing life opportunity like I had, like many other had, and it's just a big miss. It's a waste, and I feel like the UK will pay the price, especially England, because we never know. Maybe Scotland will get their independence, and maybe Scotland will be next on the list. A lot of students I know who are from France decided to go to Scotland instead of England because they just felt like it was better. So who knows, maybe Scotland will be the next England, and I hope it will be. I hope this Brexit system won't impact Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales more than it already has so far. And I really hope that people will realise that the UK is not just England, and that it will still bring some very good diversity, some really good people out there to the UK. Obviously, we have had a promise from Rishi Sunak that students and research will receive over £10 billion for research grants. I want to say that I will be believing that when I see them, especially that, okay, the government has created a doctoral loan system that is open to EU citizens, but who knows what the situation will be in the next 2 or 3 years. Will we still have access as EU citizens to this kind of grants, or because of them having to cut the budget, we'll be in a situation where we can't afford studying anymore and we can't even take a grant because we are EU citizen? I mean, so far the impact that the Brexit has had on me is some indirect discrimination. When I was applying to jobs or vacation scheme or training contract application, there's this little question that says, are you a EU citizen? Yes. Do you have the residency status as EU settlement scheme, or do you have the pre-settled settlement scheme? Are you a full-time resident? Are you going to be allowed to work in the UK for the next 5 years or so? Then obviously, I guess from the company point of view, seeing someone who's a EU citizen who has pre-settled status, so not complete status of residency in the UK, this might be just a foot on the brake for them, and they might just not want us, and that's called indirect discrimination. And those things, I've seen them, and I am pretty sure that for some of my application, maybe probably not all of them, but I'm pretty sure that for some of my application I was rejected because I was an EU citizen. Obviously it's not certain. I have no certainty that it was the case, but I'm pretty sure, and being kind of frank, I feel like it was the system has made people thinking that way. It's not their fault. They are just as victim as we are, and it's still something that we will see in the next 5 or 10 years. It will have a great impact on people, and especially European citizens coming from the EU wanted to live or work and study in the UK, and this will have a long-term impact, and that's for sure. So that's a very sad thing. That's something that the UK will regret for many years. It's very sad, really, and there's not much to say because we don't even know what the deal will actually bring us and how far it will protect EU citizens wanted to come to the UK and British citizens living in the EU themselves. So far, Brexit has only shown that it was not the best idea in the world. Actually, it was the worst idea in the world, and I feel like every single one of us will pay the price for the rest of our lives, maybe. I just hope that the UK will rejoin at some point. I'm a hopeless optimist, and I hope that some reason will come back and will maybe rejoin, and I will campaign to rejoin and not be there. So that's all I have to say about Brexit Promises and how they broke my heart more than anything. But yeah, I know I'm not the only one. We have to stay strong, and thank you for listening to me, and I hope I made sense, and I hope my French accent didn't annoy you too much. So yeah, thanks for listening to me, and bye.
Thanks, Emily. Yeah, Brexit really broke my heart as well, I have to say. One of the very first reasons I opposed it in the first place was because continental Europeans didn't get a vote, which I always thought was unfair. People that have lived in the UK and contributed to its society and its economy for decades, like my wife and her family. It's heartbreaking. But I've also taken a lot of inspiration by learning just how important Europeans are for the UK and how many vital industries they support, including the NHS. Lastly for today is Ollie.
My name's Ollie. I'm going to be talking to you about one of the Brexit lies that put me off the most. It's actually quite a recent one. So this dates back to January 2020. Boris Johnson said during PMQs that his Brexit deal would not affect the Erasmus scheme, the UK's participation in Erasmus. And why would it? There are countries, non-EU countries like Norway, Serbia, Iceland that participate in this scheme. Why would the UK not participate either, When I studied Erasmus in Alicante, I studied with Americans, with Turkish people, with Koreans. There's no reason for non-EU citizens to be involved in this sort of thing. It's a myth that it's only a scheme available to EU citizens or EU countries. Then less than a year after he promised that the UK would remain in Erasmus, it was announced that in December 2020 that the UK would not be in Erasmus, okay? They then announced this new Turing scheme, okay? Saying that this will be amazing because we will not be limited to only studying in Europe, we can now study in Australia. Basically, these people who still think that Erasmus is limited to EU countries or EU citizens. They haven't heard of Erasmus Mundus. This is part of the EU Erasmus scheme where it takes place outside European countries. So, it's to create this brand new scheme which, sends people to the other side of the world where they have no access to the job market and they have to pay their own healthcare to be able to stay like one semester if they decide to study there. This is an opportunity for the elites, basically, the very people who Brexit supporters claim they don't like, and for them to sort of blame Erasmus, saying that, oh, this is an opportunity for the elites. It's like, no, there are bursaries available for young people whose parents don't make a certain amount of money. For example, when I studied in Spain, my housemate was from a working class Welsh background, and he had a bursary available to him, thanks to Erasmus. There are these opportunities that are being taken away from average people. Why does it affect me, this lie? The short answer is it doesn't. Me personally, I've been there, I've done that, got the t-shirt, I've done my Erasmus in Spain. It was a great time. I even studied my master's in France, so I'm at a place in my life where I don't need to go out and study abroad. I'm currently working in Belgium, and I'm able to continue working in Belgium because I was born with dual citizenship. So if I did want to go back on Erasmus, I would still be able to. But that doesn't mean that it's not important. That doesn't mean that millions of Brits, young British people who planned to, study abroad, to study in an EU country like, I don't know, Portugal, Germany, Italy, that opportunity has been taken away from them. It's also been taken away from millions of European students who wanted to study in Manchester, Edinburgh, Cardiff. I mean, I think it's important for the same reason that it's a shame that so many students are going to university nowadays, but the cities are in lockdown. Imagine crossing half the country, going from Leeds to, I don't know, Bristol, and then finding out that you don't have to go into uni to do your classes. Lectures are all online. You could have literally just stayed home and not spent a load of money on rent. Just because I'm not in that situation doesn't mean it's not important. I was over the moon when I heard that Ireland was opening up the same opportunity for Northern Irish students. I think that's amazing. I'm not sure if that's particularly going to be a great thing for the future of the UK as a union, but I think we kissed goodbye to that a long time ago. So the only way I can sort of see it benefiting Northern Ireland is not only does it give opportunities for the Northern Irish youth to study abroad, but it also could attract, Welsh students, Scottish students, English students, people from other parts of the UK who otherwise would not necessarily have considered studying in Belfast an option.
Thanks, Ollie. It's sad to think about the opportunities that have been taken away from students with the loss of Erasmus. It's like, why? I mean, the government could have sought to remain in the program. They chose not to, for no other reason than it was seen as too close to the EU. Anyway, this will wrap it up for the first pilot episode. As mentioned earlier, it's a bit of a work in progress. It's my first foray into the world of YouTube, but I would love it if Rejoiners come to think of it as a collaborative tool to amplify your own thoughts and plans and ideas. We want to fit in some fun stuff as well, so it won't always be talking heads. So please do leave a like and a comment below if you'd like to come on the next episode, or if you have a particular topic you'd like to discuss. Until next time.